A slight slowing down as they've started to close that gap down pretty quickly to 30 seconds. 30 seconds, around about half a minute. We're right in the outskirts now of Sacramento. You can see the freeway there heading north and south. There downtown, just over on the right-hand side, you can see the great paddle steamer, which you can take up and down the river here on river cruises. And there's the 4 leaders, that gap. 500 meters in these big wide boulevards now. These guys are very much in the sight of the sprinters. There's 16 kilometers to go. They're about 6 miles from crossing the finishing line for the first time, and that will be with 3 laps to go.
Well, the teams are moving men up all of the time. Trek Segafredo, Katusha. We've also got now, only moments ago, Paul, you were talking about Rani Jansen van Rensburg. Well, now this team's moved him right up. He's the multicoloured jersey just at the bottom of the picture there. The champion of South Africa. Just setting the pace now for Team Sky is Theo Gegenhardt. Christoph has got his big K team moving forward. Oh boy, and there's a rush on the right for Degenkolb's team. This is going to be a real storming finish.
Well, now's the time when all the teams of the sprinters are starting to get themselves organised. As you mentioned, Katusha Alpecin on the left-hand side. But, whoa, little tricky as you go around the dividing central reservation.
I got to jump back across.
Yep, thank you very much.
That's very tricky.
Yeah,
this is even trickier.
Some didn't even do it. Good job they closed both sides of the highway. Back together, all back together, but look at the places they're lost in the bunch.
Well, that's what we were talking about a little earlier on as we go over the bridge here, and there you can see the Capitol building straight on in front of the leading group of 4 riders. You've got to be able to hold your position around these sweeping bends. We're now looking at the difference in speed. Quick reminder of the 4 leaders once again: Clark, Hertz, Planet and Wolf. But now's the moment when the teams have really got to hold their positions around these sweeping bends.
Over the Tower Bridge here as the riders race into town itself. But I'll tell you what, they might well snick the sprint as we come down towards the State Capitol building there, because that's where the sprint is. First time underneath the finish line. But even if the same guy wins, it's a total of 6 seconds. The winner of the day gets 10.
There's 4.5 kilometers to go to the first time across the line. That's around about 2.5 miles. It should take them less than 5 minutes to get there. These guys in this main peloton now are not too concerned about pulling those riders back. What they're more concerned about is holding their position in the main field.
But in turn, just trying to hold your position means that speed just keeps on rising and rising. The big crescendo all the way to the finish line.
By the way, the judges have made the decision, and there's no other decision possible. They have awarded the most courageous rider's jersey today to Ben Wolf. So that we'll see him later on the podium for that award.
Well deserved.
Absolutely, and that jersey is the Amgen Breakaway from Cancer jersey.
And Ben's still on the front run. They're driving. Now they're pretty much on these circuits. I think, Paul, they might be on the circuits if they aren't 100% on the circuit now.
No, they're on the circuit, but they have to cross the finishing line for the first time, and that comes at 10.5 kilometers to go. Yeah. So in my calculation, that's around about 4Ks from here.
Yeah, a little way to get down outside the State Capitol building, but there's a big crowd waiting to welcome them.
25 seconds. Still tapping away, these riders, maybe hoping that they could survive. Ben Wolf still keen, still got plenty of energy, looking over his shoulder, trying to judge what 25 seconds looks like. Well, I can tell him it's around about 0.3 of a kilometer. These riders yet to get onto the actual finishing circuit. They're still heading in towards, they're coming in here on Capitol Mall. You've got Trek Segafredo over on the right-hand side. Very complicated nowadays because everybody this year seems to have gone for red and black or black and red jerseys. So from a helicopter,
never think of the
it looks like everybody's from the same team at the front of the peloton.
And they've got, I think it's Ian Boswell's got control here of the field too for Team Sky. So Sky are anxious to get Viviani in a good position. He's a small rider. He reminds me of Robbie McEwen, the Australian now retired. He can hide in that group. Trek Segafredo, they're kind of not quite post office red on the jerseys. They're a bit faded.
Yeah, but to have a quick look at one team who is noticeable by their absence is Quick-Step Floors. They're waiting. They did the pacemaking they had to do at the right time during the race. They're waiting to come towards the front until probably the last 3 or 4 kilometers, because they know they need to have the firepower inside the last 1.5 kilometers to get their big man Marcel Kittel up to the front.
And that's confidence, Paul. A lot of times the insecurity is the reason that you go up to the front way too early, because you don't know what to do and you don't think that you have the horsepower to get up to the front at the right time. So that's exactly what I see here, is when you see Kittel and his boys sitting back, they know that they get up to the front whenever they want to.
Well, these 4 guys, I think, will make the sprint line, and after that, they'll just sit up. My experts here don't think they will, but...
Well, it's 10 seconds, and still I make it about 3 kilometers. As long as the time, the gap is being indicated properly from the graphic there's still about 3 kilometers to go to the finish line.
Well, they won't make it if they keep freewheeling at the front in the breakaway, that's for sure. But it's 1 kilometer now to the finishing line, so they should hang on for the sprint. Just.
But not very much longer.
So that's a last corner that we've been talking about pretty much the entire show. It's about 900 meters to go to the finish line.
There goes Herrits.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and get both of them. That'll give him a total of 6 seconds if he gets them both. This is the peloton turning into the straight.
Which is useful for Team BMC, because what it will do, it'll keep him high up in the standings for the team car positions for tomorrow.
Ah.
So we're looking at 3.5 kilometers on the circuit, and it's not too far away, 500 meters or so. Herrits looking over his shoulder. He's got Jono Clark on his wheel, and I'm pretty sure that Herrits wants to make sure he gets those a little bit further back there. You've got Charles Planet. Now Jono Clark says, right, thank you very much, mate. You got the last sprint point once we went through Clarksburg, but I'll have 3 seconds time bonus as well. And in fact, Clark was in 2nd place at Clarksburg, while Herrits was in 1st, so they've reversed that, and coming across the line in 3rd place, Ben Wolf gets himself a single second. Now there's lots more control. The dark blue jerseys there are on the front of the main field. That was Team Sky. There's the Capitol building just in the distance, and as you can see, and here there's a great crowd out there. So Team Sky over on the right-hand side, they're looking out for Elia Viviani. They've got a very good lead-out squad when you think about the men on board. Jono Clark is insisting a fraction here. He's got about a 5-second advantage over the peloton. If we just look over his shoulder, you can see the shadow of the main field. 3 circuits now of 3.5 kilometers. So less than 6 miles of racing. So Clark got himself the time bonuses for 1st place. Herrits got 2nd place as we went through the time gap there, and 3rd place went to Ben Wolf of Stamford, Connecticut, I believe. Peloton spreading out. The question is, who's going to have the control now? You can start to see those blue and white jerseys of Quick-Step getting themselves organized. Sky on the right, Dimension Data moving up. They've moved their South African champion up towards the front. Reinhard Janse van Rensburg. He's a very good sprinter. That's South African, the South African national champion. And the team were very confident. When I spoke to Roger Hammond yesterday, one of the team managers there, he was just explaining that he was the man for the sprint. Bernie Eisel will be the director of the orchestra, making sure that they get the lead-out train to perfection. A year ago, Janse van Rensburg won himself with the Tour of Langkawi in Malaysia. But Sky, they very often, for me, they very often just tend to start the lead out just a little bit too far out from the finish. And this is a confident move by a team. That's Peter Kenyock, former British national champion, hails from the Isle of Man. Boswell. It's going to be a long lead out. It's about a 9-minute lead out if they're going to lead from here down towards the finishing line.
Well, as I've often said in the past, when Team Sky get to the front, there's been an eclipse on the peloton. The boys in black are trying to get Elia Viviani into position.
I always think, Christian, that when you look at Team Sky, when it comes down to the lead out, they tend to lead out a little bit too far out from the finishers. If they're overconfident, they're going to have to lead this out for a good 10 minutes, and still you don't see Quick Step Floors coming to the front.
I don't think it's overconfidence. I think it's insecurity, actually. A lot of times when you're confident, you get to sit back just like Quick Step Floors is doing right now with Marcel Kittel. When you're insecure, you think you need to go and do more than you can because you're not confident that you could really make that big move with 1 or 2 kilometers to go.
Well, Sky have laid their cards on the table, and they're still just on 2.5 laps from the finishing line. They're trying to get control of the head of the field, while the others are watching just now.
Yes, and the others watching are waiting in the wings. They're waiting for that moment when they might want to take over. That's Bernie Eisel, just on the shoulder of the riders from Team Sky, and the other black and white jersey of Dimension Data. He'll be waiting for the moment when he wants to start to move his lead-out train towards the front. As I've said a couple of times, it's Reinhard Janse van Rensburg, the South African national champion. You can spot him. But there's also a number of riders pretty close to the front from Bora Hansgrohe. They'll be looking after Peter Sagan, and also Sunweb starting to make an appearance up towards the front. They don't have too many really fast sprinters on their squad here, not some of the fast men like Michael Matthews, who's taking a little bit of a break. Oh, you can hear that crowd. They're enjoying the Amgen Tour of California.
As they fly under our camera, they're going out 2 more circuits still to come. They got around that one pretty quick. I think you might be right, Paul and Christian, that Anne Jens is agreeing with you, by the way, as well, that Team Sky have gone to the front too soon here.
Yeah, it's a question of biding your time and having big firepower. You really need, I mean, the ideal lead-out train needs to have 4 riders remaining with firepower for the last 2 kilometers, and then still having a rider up towards the shoulder of your sprinter inside of the last kilometer.
And also Team Sunweb have moved to the front, and I am wondering, because we did talk to the team on Saturday and they were very, very complimentary of the youngster Sam Oomen.
That's not the kind of course for him. He's thinking further down the race here. I would expect they're thinking a little bit more of Jonas Fröhlinger, who's one of the faster men on that squad. Oomen, I do think they will have a lot of respect for when the road starts to tip up towards the skies, and he's still not yet 22 years of age.
Well, you said earlier, Paul, it's so easy to get overly excited when you hit a circuit. I don't know what it is about a circuit that riders get so insane about, but like they get up there and all bets are off once you enter that circuit.
It might have something to do with the fact there's a massive crowd down the finishing straight.
Yeah, and they also know the importance of putting their sprinter on the front, and just by the mere fact they all want to put the sprinters there, the pace is faster and faster. And if you're on the back right now, I think we can cross those numbers off for the sprint finish, because it's just going too quick now. Remember, this is the first of a week in the saddle for these riders. This is a World Tour event as we race down to Pasadena, where we finish next Saturday. And it's a long, rough road down to Pasadena. Tomorrow's a hard stage as well, but today is a sprinter stage now. And the sprinters aren't going to let this one slip away.
Now, and even though I don't see Quick Step Floors anywhere there, I still have utmost confidence in Marcel Kittel and his squad.
Yeah, when you've got the firepower, Christian, that those guys have got, you can move up to the front in the space of a kilometre. And I think you're right, that kind of confidence that Team Quick Step exude means they can wait until the final few kilometres to move forward.
As they pass through under the trees, everybody, Sky is still controlling nicely. They've got a nice long line of riders, just one intrudes them. I think it's from a Trek Segafredo rider there in 2nd place.
I'll take my hat off, though, to Peter Kenyuk, the former British national champion. He's doing a very serious turn for Team Sky, giving them a chance to hold back a little bit of firepower for the final few kilometres. Look at that turn he's doing at the front, the rider in the black jersey there of Team Sky.
Markel Izar sitting right there, right behind him from Trek Segafredo, the Basque rider sitting at the front, policing it, looking out for his man, John Degenkolb.
Here we go. They're going under the 1 kilometre, not the 1 kilometre to the finish on this occasion, but it will be to the bell this time through. And it looks as though there's been a complete change at the front. Hey, the big K is back in the action here. Katusha on the far right of our picture now.
Swinging over, though, because over on the front of the main field, it's Dimension Data, who kilometers ago was sitting at the back 4 positions of the main field. Now they're controlling things at the front.
Well, Dimension Data, they've got the champion of South Africa on their squad. They told us on Saturday that they felt this man had the speed to take this race to the line, and that is Reinier Janse van Rensburg. And he is riding extremely well, and that's Dimension Data on the front. Mark Renshaw setting the pace here. A little bit surprised. He was a late replacement in the team as well.
One American of note up there in the front, Kilo Reinen from Trek Segafredo. He'll be the lead-out man. He'll be right in front of Koen de Kort, and then ultimately John Degenkolb will be the leader in the sprint.
As they go through the banner, the bell is ringing loud in the sky here outside the state capital. It's been a long day in the saddle for these guys, but now it's down to 2.2 miles, just over 3 kilometers for the lap. And by the way, these pictures are going around the world, and that is why we talk in miles and kilometers as they continue on this last lap. Now this is going to be some lap, boys.
Well, this final lap around here is going to take these riders not very much longer than 4 minutes, and in fact it's now the American team in the orange jersey coming to the front. Team Rally, still no other team in control of this peloton.
Well, you've got to watch. Rally have got great belief in themselves here, Team Rally, as they told us also on Saturday. They feel that they have a chance here in this event, and Mel White have, because Danny Pate, once a Sky Rider himself, is now on this squad, and he's a big guiding light here.
Very early in the finish, low, the beginning up there in the front. That's a long time, and just what we were alluded to earlier, at these kind of speeds, it's not possible to stay on the front more than 600-700 meters. So that's a long way to go still with only 2 guys in front of you, the sprinter.
Well, we're in the center of Sacramento, and they're switching all over the road here, and they're really pushing on the right of the road.
Now we see Quick Step on the right-hand side, and the blue and white starting to get organized, coming right up onto the tail of the Rally.
And look how much more organized and confident, as you kept saying, Christian, they appear to be. They're still waiting in the wings, waiting for the moment to take control. I would like to figure out, though, who Team Rally Cycling are actually working for, because I don't think they've got a really fast sprinter who can rival the likes of Marcel Kittel or John Degenkolb, but certainly they're not too scared of the reputations. Now look at this move here. This looks to me like big old Jack Bauer.
That is Jack Bauer, New Zealand rider. Used to be on Cannondale, enjoying his time in his new team at Quick Step. Falling right into that role.
Oh, he's organised the Quick Step boys into the right position, and the boys in black are really fighting to hold the position at the front now. 5
riders in the first 5 positions for Quick Step floors. Now, as Christian has said a number of times, that is some serious confidence and some serious firepower moving to the front end of this line now.
These guys could barely even handle the pace of what Jack Bauer's doing. The Sky Riders are not even hold on the wheel.
Sorry. Look at the white jersey moving forward. There's only one guy I can think can move forward at a time like this, and that would have to be Peter Sagan. I think he's got rainbow bands.
It is.
Peter Sagan. Look at that. He just flip-flops around inside of a killer. He wants his position there. They've gone inside the max. Is 1 kilometre to go, Banner.
They're inside a kilometre to go. 900 metres counting down, and Peter Sagan is in the 4th wheel now, and Marcel Kittel is on his right shoulder here as they're beginning to line up for the finish. The lead out is incredible here, because I'm not sure they can catch up with the man who's doing the lead out. They're well inside that Maxis 1 kilometre, and Peter Sagan has put him in a position to win this off the wheel of Marcel Kittel. Team Sky, who seem to have control, they've just got Elia Viviani left at the front.
Trek Segafredo coming up through the middle. Team Katusha now trying to set up Alexander Kristoff, but in 3rd position, Phil, it's Peter Sagan.
Well, you've got Kristoff in the red, 2nd red jersey here, gritting his teeth. Marcel Kittel's making a dig. Peter Sagan is going to give it the best shot. We've got Kittel on the left, Kristoff on the right, the 2 top sprinters. But the top sprinter is Marcel Kittel as he comes up to the line and takes it from the world champion, Peter Sagan. Elia Viviani crosses the line in 3rd.
Christian, you've got to tell me that was a textbook victory by Marcel Kittel. No problem, man. That was so easy. easy.
And who really gets the MVP, though, is Fabio Sabatini, launching the sprint of Marcel Kittel, going up and over the lead-out train of Katusha, who went a little bit early. But what were we saying the whole entire day? This was Marcel Kittel's day. It was his race to lose, but they came through with the goods.
Yeah, but I'll tell you another thing. Peter Sagan getting right up there alongside Marcel Kittel. When we go further down at this Amgen Tour of California, I think Mr. Sagan is going to improve on the 15-stage victories he's had in his history and career so far with this event.
Starting tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure that Alexander Kristoff will be very upset with that sprint. He didn't come good in the end. There's the winning team down there.
Well, there you can see on the right-hand side, Christian, that is Marcel Kittel.
But that's what I'm saying. Right in front of Marcel Kittel is Sabatini, and he's the one who really launched the sprint, going up and over the riders of Katusha. And then it's all Marcel Kittel. He had nothing but daylight in front of him in the finish line. And like, he was the only person who could even hold the wheel of Marcel Kittel is Peter Sagan, the world champion.
I think coming across the line there in third place as well was Elia Viviani. So he was pretty much there and thereabouts in that blue jersey.
Yeah, but nobody was in touch. That team had done the work all day. They put the man where they wanted him. They know he has the pure sprint power. He is the fastest man on a finish like this. But you've got to be in the right position to use your speed.
And in my reckoning, Phil, that would make it his 8th victory of the season so far.
What a beast.
Not surprisingly, he's totally delighted because he's been here before and he's the best sprinter in the world currently, but he's never won a stage here till today.
And let's not forget, he gets that yellow jersey with it.